Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to cut some rock that we picked up in Haunted Ridge at the November machine dig. These are some agate that I picked up, and while I don't know exactly what's in them, I have high hopes. This one, you can definitely see that banding in there. I'm hoping there's some reds, but it looks like it's going to be maybe some black, white, gray, but with some of this iron staining coating the crystals, I'm hoping some of that red has seeped down into the agate banding. That clay makes it hard to really tell for sure what's under there, but I definitely want to slab these up and see what's in them. This one, it looks like it could have some red. Again, it's got the chalcedony and hematite coating on the top of the crystals, and so that might have worked its way down into that agate. So hopefully with some slabs we'll have some really nice color, but if not, it's still a beautiful stone. I love the agate that comes from down there. Now this one, I have a pretty good idea what it's going to look like, because when I flipped it over, it had been broken, probably during the machine dig, which is fine with me because I'm going to cut them anyway. But you can see the agate banding. It'll be a lot more crisp once I get a good cut on it, but definitely want to cut this up and see what those bands really look like. Now this one, it does have some bands. It's got a deep cup underneath, so my best slabs are going to come from about here. You know, I'm going to get probably one really good slab, but these will make for some good earrings, so I'll still get some slabs out of it, and we'll see what we've got. So let me fire up the saw, and once I have some slabs made, I will be back. First rock, as you can see here, it did have some fractures, and let's take a look. Here's the heel cut. Let me get that wet so we can really see. It's got some nice patterning there. So let's take a look. This is the fractured slab. You can see that crystalline structure right here where the crystals were underneath it. And it's got a really nice wavy, lacy pattern, but a lot of fractures. This was found near the surface, so that's to be expected with that. The better material will come from deeper down in the ground, but that pattern is really, really nice. So this will make, I'll get some really nice cabs out of these pieces. And then this is about the last third of this piece, and I do like that it's got this kind of peach colored band going across the top. I may be able to, sometimes I can get a good polish with this microcrystalline structure up here. Sometimes it just kind of falls apart as I cab it or try to cut it, but it's got that, you know, pretty typical gray and translucent chalcedony in there making up those layers. But still, it turned out to be a nice piece. Now the second one here, if you remember, is this piece here. I've got some slabs from it. We'll take a look at the heel cut first. Now you could tell from the outside it was going to have some really nice bands. And it's got that kind of rusty yellow brown in with the black and the white and the gray. you could kind of see that patterning going on the outside, and as to be expected, you got some nice banding on the inside. You can see how the crystals had grown, and they are covered in that hematite up there, but still a lot of good cabs can be made from that. Now let's take a look at the first actual slab. And it's more of the same. It's going to be pretty much the same. The patterns will change a little bit throughout the stone, but for the most part, it will stay the same. So let's take a look at the next slab. This one, it seems like the waviness becomes more linear, but it's still the same colors. So this will probably mostly become earrings. And then the final piece. Now that red up here at the top, that's the paint that came off of my saw blade. But some of that banding gets tighter, and you see a little bit more of that pinkish, yellow, brown. You know, you're getting some more color in there. I mean, it changes throughout the rock, which is great. Now the next one, it's the thin one that, if you remember, it had this was the one that was bowl shaped, and so I cut off the heel here, which the heel shattered, so you still can't see much there, but if you turn it over, that was a very, very interesting pattern. And you're getting that orange, brown color, some blotchy chalcedony there in the middle. Kind of neat looking, I like it. And then our first slab, it's that same blotchy chalcedony, but very lacy banding that I really like. And then the final, I may cut another slab off of this and make some, there's enough, oops. It's still got a lot of the clay on it, so let me get that washed back off. Okay, here we go. That's better. But it's got real nice lacy pattern in it. This will be really good for either some small cabs or even some really nice little earrings. And not a lot of, I don't see a lot of fractures in this one, which I'm glad to see, because that'll make it easier to make those earrings, because I tend to make mine to be about 10 or 12 millimeter. So, and then for the last one, this is the one that you could see some patterning going on, so let's take a look at the heel cut first. Kind of blotchy, but then you still have some really nice lace pattern. And then the first slab, it's fractured, but those fractures have filled in with some hematite, which gives it that kind of pinkish peach. Hopefully I can get those worked in. I may try some Opticon to kind of stabilize it, to keep it from cracking. I don't know if that'll work, but you know, I'll try it and see. And then my final full slab off of it, it's got some really nice bands. It's going to take some work to get those saw marks out, because I'm using a tile saw. I don't have a proper slabbing saw yet, but I really like that lace pattern in it. And then our final piece, that looks like maybe some barite there in the middle. Plenty of that blotchy chalcedony, and then some really nice banding with the crystals on top of that. This will make some really nice, excuse me, that'll make some really nice cabochons for jewelry and that kind of thing. So next I'll make a couple of cabochons and we'll see how they look fully polished. I will be back. Alright, I've chosen my slab that I'm going to make my cabochon from. So what I will do is we're going to take my template, and this is a 25 by 18 millimeter. So we're going to do this cabochon, and what I will do here is find where I want to put the cabochon, where I want the patterns and how I want it to look. Probably like that. So I'm going to take my Sharpie right here and I'm going to mark it out. And I'm also going to mark a couple of 10 millimeter earrings. I'm going to do that off camera here because it's going to be easier because they're smaller. And let's mark another one just for good measure here. I kind of want that in there. Okay, so now I can take that away. Now I'm a little close to the edge on that one, so I probably need to move it over just a touch. So what I will do is mark. Okay, now I've got 2 extra marks here, so what I'll do is mark that so I know I don't want that. And I'll mark out this line so I know I don't want that. Next, I've got to take it over to my saw and we will cut these out and I'll show you the next step. Alright, so now I've refined my shape a little bit. And that's the pattern that's going to come out. So now what I've got to do is figure out, or at least draw a, I don't know if you want to call it a girdle line necessarily, but I need to put a 2 to say 3 millimeter edge at the bottom of the cabochon, excuse me, so that since I do wire wrapping and I use square wire, I like a nice flat edge. So what I'm going to do is take my marker and hold it, and I'm just eyeballing this. I'll make them a little thicker if I want. So that's going to be that'll be the bottom edge of my cabochon. And I'll do it a little thicker if I'm going to, depends on how many wraps I'm going to, how thick the frame's going to be when I do my wire wrapping. And if you'd like to see me do a demonstration of making a wire wrapped pendant, let me know in the comments below, and I will do a demonstration. But these are going to be earrings. What I'll do is take a 16 penny nail, if I can find one here. Yeah, just a 3-inch 16 penny nail, and then I will drop just a little bit of Drop a little bit of super glue on the top of that. And then drop the cabochon, or what will be the cabochon, right on top. And then, well, you got to let it sit. It'll set up after a while, but I got to let that cure. I'll do that with this one as well. I apologize for continuing I keep going out of frame, I know, but I'm finding that it is very, very difficult to do this with the camera in front of me. Now I know what a lot of the other YouTubers are talking about when they say that. So I've got to let those cure, and then we'll get those shaped. But what I'll do now is, with these, I want to dome down because I want more of this shape. So this is going to be the bottom. And what I'll do is I'll cut it down, and I'll go around at a 45-degree angle till I get to that line. And then I'll take that down and then start the doming process. So let me get the initial dome done, and I will show you what I have when we come back. Okay, there's the first 45 degrees. It's kind of hard to really see what I've done here, but I've gone around the initial cabochon at a 45 degrees, and now I've got to knock this off and make this round. So I'll go another 45-degree angle, and then I'll start smoothing it out. Okay, we're back, and now you can see I'm going to have some straightening up to do, but that cabochon is now a little more rounded. The flat edge on the top is mostly gone, but there's still a lot of angular cuts. So now I'm going to smooth out the dome, bring it down a little bit more, and kind of straighten up my edges a little bit. And as soon as that part's done, I will show you the result. Okay, here we are. Now it's got a much smoother dome. There's still some refining to do, but I will do that on the 220 wheel on the cabbing machine here. But it's much more round, and so now the cabbing machine, I'll use it to knock these edges down just a little bit more, remove the rest of the marker, and get, there's still some fairly angular, you can kind of see some of those angular spots. So the cabbing machine will take out the flat areas, as well as allow me to grind down a little closer to that line, and then I'll grind off the marker line there and get everything refined, and we'll go through the polishing steps. And here we are, the finished cabochon. Looks good. I love the yellow streaks that are in it. I really like that. So pretty impressive considering we started out with that. Went to a slab, and then down to this, and to end up with this. That's why I love it. This is therapy for me. Whenever I feel a little down, I just take a rock that seems unassuming. Hopefully I didn't just break that when I dropped it. But anyway, thank you for watching, and if you'd like to see me turn that cabochon into a pendant, let me know in the comments. And if you would do me a huge favor, drop a like and maybe even subscribe if you like what you're seeing, and give me suggestions on other things that you want to see. I know there's a lot of channels out there that cover some of this kind of stuff, but if there's something you don't see that you want to see, I'll see if I can work it out. So again, thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.